Some days are better than other good days, but every day is a good day. Summer days in Finland, not always like this today. Not always warm and sunny. And not every summer day in Finland we have Zazenkai. Like this. It's been long months since we have sat together. Of course, this COVID-19 or Corona thing is not done yet, and we don't know what will happen. And we'll see how it's a rare opportunity always to come and sit together. If we look at from the further away, it's not for granted that we can do this setting and have Zazenkai or sit together. I think this pandemic, of course, has shown the already known fact that everything is changing, and there's been something good that it's shown. It's been shown that is very basic truth, which we will face eventually. And now, of course, Corona has helped us to it's a reminder that how fragile all people-made systems and such are. Of course, it has caused a lot of suffering and will cause more, so like other things that are going on. I don't think it was this Corona that has made me think much more of those things, or that everything it's transparent. I mean, it's changing. But many other things been going on also, like you are informed if you have followed. Not too much information so far, but more coming in future. Now I'm talking about Sangen's project that it's been good. Like everything is now looks it's going well. Hopefully in about 2 weeks we have done the payment and everything is, and then it's our responsibility to build up something. And as I mentioned in one letter or email, that I'm going to move there. Like Josephine, we both are going to move there, and we will not be only ones who will move there. I know one other person who will also come to live there, most likely from the Sweden. I mean, he's a Finnish guy, but anyway, it seems that he is also coming to live there some time at least. So, and other people have asked also if it's possible. So So there is something going to happen, something we are going to create that we already have here as well, but a little bit fundamentally, of course, the same practice, but hopefully it's possible that then we can offer more ongoing opportunity for people to drop in when it's suitable for them, and of course for sessions that now we have planned to have next year. I think we thought maybe 3 7-day sessions and 2 5-day sessions. We'll see. We don't know, but Corona might still affect. But to planning this kind of place for ongoing practice, of course, makes, like I've been thinking different and why and what it means, and it's been obvious that this is something I know that I believe a lot, that it has some true value, I mean true possibilities, and it's a good chance to put a little bit more effort and time to one's practice, and that's it. So I mean, it's as I see now, it is more or less it's a stop. If you go to a place like that, if you go to Zen Center like this, if you make this time for Zazen, it is a stop. It's a stop from doing your work. It's a stop. It's a break from your hobbies and other tasks that you might have. And it's hopefully kind of a break from, or it's a possibility to see what's going on in one's heart and mind. Can we stop? Can we stay where we are? Can we be just here? And from here, can we observe what's going on? We are part of it. We are 100% seamlessly part of this. Can we be just like that? Life is a little bit, I mean, if we have money, if we have interesting work, if we have kind of good things, so to say, good things, like we might, some people at least, can keep going long time without noticing some underlying some underlying big questions or inquiries of what is this life. If we have entertainments going on and we don't want to get lost, we want to know where we are going to next and what are our plans and all that. But I think this practice offers something quite different. I was thinking just metaphorically, but I think it works in practice. Maybe I have experienced it, maybe you have. You are walking somewhere, let's say we are walking alone in the forest, and suddenly we don't know where we are. Maybe a little panic comes. I think I have experienced it. I think it was Zen Garden somewhere when I was living there, or some other time. I took a walk and then I went to some forest I haven't visited before, and of course this reason for panicking is schedule. We have schedule there, so I didn't want to miss anything and cause any worries for people where we are, if I have something has happened. But it was also that when you go place like you haven't visited before, and like forests, I was certain that I know how to find my way, but of course it's a very interesting place and you see many interesting details and you walk around and suddenly you don't know where you are, and then you maybe try to go a little bit quicker, kind of you walk a little bit faster and you check a few details here and there, and maybe this was it. Oh no, it's not this, maybe it was here. Maybe you walk more and more, and then at some point when it hits that you don't know where you are, what you do, I think, what we do, we stop. It's no use to walk anymore because we don't know where we are, and so we will stop. And that's an interesting place to be. And I think that what we do here is a little bit similar. We will be, hopefully we will be lost for 100%, 100% lost here. It's interesting how it's possible. We know this is Kalevan Katu number 4, and how can we be lost in our center? But it is possible. Suddenly we don't know. We deeply don't know. We have lost all our viewpoints. We might think like scientifically, what is this? We might have other viewpoints, religious viewpoints. We have read quotes from the Zen masters and such, but somehow we come to this understanding and realization that it doesn't help. This is real thing. I'm in a deep trouble here. In a good way. Now I have a chance to investigate. I'm lost. I'm free. It's a kind of in a sense it's a holiday. Suddenly we are just having our little practice following the breath, for example. That's a holiday. Nothing else to do. Joo. This I don't know is I do know that I don't know is a wonderful possibility. And that's why I choose to say a few words, and I brought this one koan. This koan is from Hekikan Roku collection. First one, just the first koan, which is this famous Bodhidharma's I don't know. And it has this introduction like they usually do. Some of them have disappeared into the unknown history of mankind. Because some people burned them, wanted to destroy these stories not to poison our minds. So introduction goes like this. Smoke over the hill indicates fire. Horns over the fence indicates an ox. Given one corner, you grasp the other three. One glance, and you discern the smallest difference. Such quickness, however, is only too common among robed monks. When you have stopped the deluded activity of consciousness, the whatever situation you may find yourself in, you enjoy perfect freedom. In adversity and prosperity, in taking and giving. Now tell me, how in fact with this sort of person behave? See Teisho's complications. And these complications refers to main case. But before the main case, which is the koan itself, we can just look this introduction, perhaps. It gives some picture of smoke over the hill indicates fire. We see horns over the fence and we think there is an ox walking. And we've given one corner and then we grasp the other three. Sometimes it works like this. And we are smart people. I'm too smart sometimes. And it's very easy to make quick decisions. It's easy to think that you think. It's easy to believe you believe. You are. But that, unfortunately, that doesn't work with this practice very well. We are, at least some of us, and sometimes, some periods of times, we are chasing something. And of course we want to succeed. We want to make progression. And we see some smoke and we think it's fire. But this is not necessarily the actual living thing. Not really. It's maybe an idea only. And as this introduction is a little bit criticizing these robed monks with fancy robes so quickly can have this problem in their white sleeves. They have some smart ideas about enlightenment, for example. This koan itself, we have there two characters, one or three, but one is Emperor Wu, and then the other one is Bodhidharma, of course. But this emperor was a real person in history in China. And some few words about his life. He was first he was a violent, kind of typical, maybe ruler at that time in China, like in everywhere. Globally, I think everyone was, if you were a ruler, if you were a big boss, you probably had an army, and you had to do some killing activity in order to take a control. But then I don't remember why, but for some reason he changed his mind, and 417 it is said he became Buddhist. and then 527 he formally devoted himself for the practice. Why I just picked it up to say a few words is that it's interesting that this Emperor Wu was a person who started to do this repentance ceremony, which is still today in action in China, Chinese Buddhism. And we also have a repentance ceremony, although we haven't done it here at the Helsinki Zen Center, not much. But sometimes before Yukai ceremony, for example. But I think, anyways, we will do it probably next New Year in Sannäs. We will have it then there. So this kind of interesting, detailed information. And Bodhidharma is a person who we can argue with if he was really just the one real historical person, or was he like many other historical figures, like a combination of several people. But at least there is a document where he is mentioned, and this document is from 547, and there is mentioned this Bodhidharma man named Bodhidharma, monk name, who came from India and who walked around this area that this Emperor Wu was living. So he probably was there, and he arrived 520 to this area and met this emperor who introduced himself. Of course, he had done a lot of good deeds, this ruler, and now he was Buddhist and he wanted to help people, and he used a huge amount of energy and time and money for the Buddhist practitioners. He built up temples and did a lot of things. I don't have a list, but here. But it was really something. And since Bodhidharma has some reputation already, also we have to remember, just for detail, that Buddhism was already at that time in China a well-known religion and has been around for 400 years. So this Zen, sort of Zen coming into the picture wasn't the first thing, of course not. So it's just the one branch of Buddhism that has its kind of own flavor. And so this Wu asked about merit. So what kind of merit he has now? He had gotten, because has done such a thing, so good things for Buddhism, and these famous words from Bodhidharma: no merit whatsoever. So no merit whatsoever, which is a kind of a brave answer for the king, or sort of. But I remember when I was reading this koan a long time ago, or relatively speaking, long time ago, and then I mean, it was just now yesterday I looked at it and I realized that now I have a little bit different way to feel or see this conversation. So I remember feeling more like that this famous monk Bodhidharma is giving a hard time for this upper class ruler, and kind of good thing that now he shows that he is nothing. This kind of, that it's kind of putting down this. Maybe I saw it even this bluntly, this stupid way, But now I see that, of course, it's a very much compassion, truly. So no merit whatsoever. So don't think about those. Don't get stuck with your temples and your what you have done. It's of course great what you have done, but it's not merit that will help you in your practice. No merit can help us if we want to get lost. So if we like to know what is it if we don't know, then we can't have a lot of merit with that. Yeah, of course you can say, I'm so good with this, not knowing. My teacher at school always gave me merit for that. But then he asks, okay, so why no merit? It's a sincere question. Why no merit? And then Bodhidharma answers, motives for such actions are impure. They are undertaken solely for the purpose of attaining future rebirth. They are like shadows cast by bodies, following those bodies but having no reality of their own. Future rebirth, we could translate it also like just getting in future something could happen. Of course, good rebirth sounds also fantastic. I don't say that. But anything we plan that we will make, we will kind of play our cards so well that we will win in future. There might be sometimes some questionable things going on if that's our aim all the time. So Emperor was still asking, what is true merit? What is the true merit? If it's not what I have done, what is it then? And of course that's a question we might ask as well. What should I do? Okay, what I have done so far didn't work. What should I do that I will win? Can you give a hint? And then Bodhidharma says, it is clear seeing, pure knowing, beyond discriminating intelligence. Its essence is emptiness. Such merit cannot be gained by worldly means. So, and then this actual koan begins. This the case. So this Emperor Wu of Liang asked the great Master Bodhidharma, what is the first principle of the holy teachings? So he still, after this conversation they already had about merit and such, he's still asking, so what is then the teaching that is like what you just described? Sounds like it's impossible to grasp. It's like, even if you have money, I mean, it seems there is no way I can even understand what you are talking about, Mr. Bodhidharma. So what is the principle? What is it all about? And then Bodhidharma says, emptiness without holiness. Those are, of course, very refreshing words. Emptiness, something we all are full all the time. We don't need any extra holiness. all kind of holiness takes us into the troubles. Holiness makes us crazy. But this kind of holiness that is empty, so to say, that's what it is Bodhidharma's teaching, holy teaching. And then this emperor is curious about who he is now talking with. I mean, it sounds like lunatic or kylähullu or something, this Bodhidharma, almost, but as we also know how he looked like. His appearance wasn't suitable for cabins or, I mean, this kind of high level meetings. He looked really shabby. This is not maybe good, but I was just thinking, you know, now summertime we see those Bodhidharmas sitting on the benches, and if we imagine that our President Niinistö would stop by and start a serious conversation about the truth, and they would answer like this, and then he's asking, okay, who is you guy? And he says, I don't know. I think most people would turn their backs and just, okay, lost case. Oh, so sad. I don't mean that Bodhidharma was like such, but anyway, I said already that it wasn't a good thing to say, maybe. But there is something. I'm still stuck here, and also time is running, but I won't give up. Stuck with this thing that this Bodhidharma didn't look like truly some, I mean, from the relatively speaking, if we think about someone who is a leader of some kind of wisdom and kind of fully realized person, maybe this ruler was expecting something a little bit more fancy, more, you know, he wasn't his appearance, as I'm repeating, wasn't that. Of course, he had traveled a long distance. He had traveled a long distance from India to China. So of course you are a little bit dusty. Maybe not shaved, and you had these earrings, and you know, he was a. So and he answers, I don't know. Who is standing before me? I don't know. And emperor didn't understand. And then this Bodhidharma crossed the Yangtze River. He continued his journey and came to the kingdom of Wei. And this koan ends with this conversation with emperor, and in this koan we say Prince Chi, but I remember that this Prince Chi has also told to be a monk, so was also a practitioner and sincere one, serious one in a good way. So emperor tells him about this meeting with Bodhidharma. And then this Prince Chi asks, does your majesty know who this man is? And the emperor says, I don't know. And Prince Chi says, he is the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, transmitting the Buddha mind seal. And then emperor's hair is probably like standing on his skin, and what has happened? The emperor felt regretful and wanted to send an emissary to invite Bodhidharma to return. Of course, I have all the power to ask him come back. I can send all my people to look after him. Take this guy here, I will investigate him again. But Prince, she told him, Your Majesty, it is no good sending a messenger to fetch him back. Even if everyone in the whole country were to go after him, he still wouldn't return. Sad story. Or is it a sad story? Maybe this ending shows at least the one thing, that we always, every moment we had this momentum, that we have this momentum that we don't have to feel, we don't have to regret afterwards. I mean, here we are. This is where we start. But if we are looking for somewhere else, we will miss this. And then, one day, we will regret. So if we don't if we don't lose this, we won't regret. That's why this practice is so simple we do. Round after round we just repeat this simple practice wholeheartedly. Sometimes we lose it completely and then we lose it again and again. But we come back and we do it again and again, and finally, step by step, it works. It starts to change things, we don't even recognize those things, but then suddenly we find ourselves here where we are. And then we know that it was a long journey. Just one more thing. It happened so that Bodhidharma died. He was 150 years old. And this Emperor Wu was truly sad. He probably never met Bodhidharma again, like as a person. And he erected kind of a monument. Maybe it was his grave. I don't know. Was it that one or just a monument for the Bodhidharma? And he wrote something like "Ales." I mean, it's kind of, I don't never know how to pronounce this word, but it's kind of I saw him without seeing him. I met him without meeting him. I encountered him without encountering him. Now, as before, I regret this deeply. So he was truly sad. He felt that there was a moment of something and he missed it and he regretted it. Of course, we could say that now he's stuck with this kind of. But it's a good teaching for all of us, that what is right now in front of our eyes, if we see it clearly, then we don't need to regret afterwards. If we don't discriminate this by using our intelligence too much, if we just this, what is this? Then we don't have to make a big monument and regret. All right. Thank you for your patience, for listening, and now we will make 3 prostrations.